We've spent about 7 years waiting for Granblue Fantasy, and with all the footage that is being released for the game, I couldn't be more excited. Granblue Fantasy Relink is an action RPG for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC via Steam, which has been created and published by Cygames. And if you're familiar with the name Granblue Fantasy, that's because the original game is a mobile gacha game that has been available for years. Relink is Cygames' attempt to bring Granblue Fantasy to the mainstream and make it more appealing to a wider audience by creating a full story that is fun, grindy, and challenging with a lot of in-game and can be enjoyed with friends and family. While I don't play many console or PC games on this channel, you can expect coverage of Granblue Fantasy Relink on this channel once it releases in early February. Let's get it poppin'. We're gonna start off with the Griffin gameplay because there's a character here that I'm actually like, I think I've kind of fallen in love with and watching her playstyle. This character Zeta, just watch how she plays. It reminds me of the Insect Glaive when playing Monster Hunter World, because of how airborne she is, right? I think that was the name of the weapon, but because of that, I feel like maintaining her aerial status is very important when dealing damage to the enemy, because it makes her kind of harder to hit. While dealing some decent DPS at the same time. Of course, I don't know if this is a early boss or not. It says level 50, so I'm guessing this is probably like mid-game. And Charlotta, man, she looks fun to play too. So what I like about the combat in this game is you can't, of course you can go in just spamming buttons, right? But in order to get like true DPS in what is the word I'm looking for? In order to be effective and efficient, you have to know exactly what the skills do, how they move, so that you'll know a proper sequence in which to use the abilities that the characters have. And mechanics like this, man, it just kind of reminds me of like a Final Fantasy 14-ish style boss. Now, from my understanding, we're actually going to have to unlock and grind up each and every one of the characters individually. Of course, there's a story mode. We're going to be able to get majority of them to like a certain level before we even reach the in-game stuff. But as the game continues to release new content, I truly do believe that we're going to be just grinding out these bosses. We're going to be looking for the best gear, the best ways to build the character so that we can deal the most DPS or support the other characters in the best way possible. And the fact that this game has co-op, so every one of the other characters can be another player, is just fantastic. And this is Narmaya. I already know there's a lot of people who want to play her. I want to play her too, but I think I'm most likely going to go with Zeta because of how many people truly just want to play Narmaya. And I just kind of don't want to be fighting for that role. Alright, now this is one of the in-game bosses. And to my understanding, this isn't even one of the hardest ones. And we also have to take into account that all these characters that we're about to see are built, right? So the enemy is 135 in terms of what level it's at. And the strategy that they're using is they're taking these debuffs here around the field and they're tossing them at the enemy to get rid of the buffs on the boss so that they can deal proper damage to it. Man, this is just so freaking dope. Look at all the damage they're doing too. So just imagine how much grinding has to be done in order for a level 100 to be doing this kind of damage to a level 135 boss. I'm assuming they just aren't weak enemies, right?
Stay strong for me.
And once again, these are the mechanics that's actually going to make these boss fights like fantastic. You really can't just go in just spamming abilities at the enemies. You have to watch out for specific things. You have to work with your teammates. And I can see this as being a great game to play with your friends, or in my case with the community. Help them with bosses, grind up for materials. And this looks so much freaking fun. It just reminds me of like raid bosses in Final Fantasy 14. Now I know Final Fantasy 14 can get like really hard, but this isn't even one of the hardest bosses in the end game. So I can only assume that there's some crazy moments that can be had when trying to get some of the materials to build the characters you're trying to build up. And this is also dope. The fact that there are abilities that we can use to help other characters charge up their abilities or prepare their attacks against the enemies is just, man, there's just so much that could be done here. I'm probably going to end up buying this game twice. I'm just going to be honest, because it's not crossplay. So PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 can play with each other, but PC can't play with the PlayStation consoles. So I'm probably going to end up buying it twice and grinding with people who have PlayStation and people who have PC. Like, I see the game being that fun. I did the same thing for Monster Hunter. Of course, I played a lot more on the PC version once it came out.
I'm right behind you.
Oh, that is so cool. That is so freaking cool. And I'm just wondering if there's going to be like different boss phases for some of the enemies. Like, are they going to have like 3 forms for some of these enemies? Are they like, because you can't just be fighting these enemies and just go through the overdrive cycle and then back to normal, right? Like, there has to be bosses that have multiple phases. Look at that. That's so freaking cool. Protecting the entire freaking team with the shields. And then she's preparing an ability that she's casting that takes longer to cast. Man, this is so damn cool, man. This is so damn cool. And you can see like the horns are broken and stuff like that. And then you're looting for the stuff needed to craft your gear and stuff. I can see this being so much fun to play with the community and friends, man. So much fun. So that's pretty much it for the first video of many coming for Granblue Fantasy Relink. I'm really excited to play this. I know it's not the normal mobile game stuff that I show on this channel, but I've been waiting a very long time for this game, and I really can't wait to play it on PC and on PlayStation. So if you're looking for someone to enjoy this wonderful game with, I'm going to be there day one. I'm going to be playing with the community. I'm going to play through the entire story. We're going to just do absolutely everything that there is to do in this game. And I'm hoping you guys can join me on the adventure despite it not being a mobile game. Now, I'll still be doing my mobile game stuff on this channel, but I kind of wanted to branch out a little bit and do something different, especially with a game that I've been just waiting so long for. So remember, the game's coming out for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC, and it's going to be releasing on February 1st. I believe there's early access that will also be available when playing on PlayStation 5, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'm going to do my absolute best to try to get this game as early as possible so we can grind through as much of it as quickly as possible. And I can help out some of you guys when trying to get the materials and the gear that you're trying to obtain. So, yeah, looking forward to this. I hope you are too. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and comment below what you think so far. Have a wonderful day. Stay healthy, stay safe, and stay chaotic. Peace out, everyone.